Hey, what's up everyone? Product of Kicks here, back at it again with another video. I just want to say thank you everyone that tuned in last week for the premiere. It went really well. Now last week I had dropped a teaser collection video and I had mentioned that I was going to be making a trade with a good buddy of mine. Well, here they are. These are the Air Jordan 4 Pure Moneys from 2006. Now they did retro these in 2017, but in my opinion, these are the better shoe. So me and him have gone kind of back and forth. He's been kind of hassling me. And so I invited him on the channel today because we finally came up with a trade deal that I think benefits both sides. So let's just dive right into it. Okay guys, Product of Kicks here. I want to welcome my good buddy Yufan. You know, we've had a lot of conversations, and I actually met this guy because I bought some Yeezys from him, and he was wearing all black off-white Air Forces at the time, and he was selling me some Yeezys that were like, I don't know, $260. It was like some GR Yeezys, and I was like, wait a minute, what if this guy has all black Air Forces on, off-whites? What else does he got? So I messaged him and we talked, and literally we've been talking almost every day for, what would you say, 4 or 5 months?
Well, I mean, until now it's probably like 6, 7, 8 months.
6, 7, 8 months. We've done a lot of business together. We talk literally about shoes almost every day. We don't talk about anything else. I consider him a really good friend. He's a really good guy. So I'm gonna let Yufan kind of dive into a little bit of his background and let you guys get to know him.
Hey, thanks for having me on the channel. I'm super excited to be here on, Product of Kicks, and this is like really cool that you're doing. But yeah, that just brings me back like a lot of memory, because last year it's interesting because I was kind of like deciding, do I want to keep, collecting shoes, or should I just let go all my shoes? So that's why you probably saw my post. I, posted a bunch of shoes, and you reached out to me, and then in the process of talking to you, I feel like, oh man, like this is really fun. Like I enjoy, talking to people about shoes and like just collecting and getting new ones. And so that's why I actually decided to just keep my game, and I never sold my whole collection. This year I actually bought way more than I would have, in the past. So like really owe you a thank you as well.
Ah man, I appreciate that.
But yeah, I mean, a little bit about myself. I originally grew up in China, came here for school and to get my master's degree. And I just ended up staying here for work. Now I live in Spokane, with my wife, and we have 2 kids. And yeah, this is our house.
So let me ask you something. So what started you in China? Did you collect sneakers back then, or?
Not necessarily collecting. I mean, like I really loved basketball growing up. Starting I think middle school. A lot of good friends of mine used to play all the time together, but I grew up in a small city. Like we didn't really have like a huge Nike shop or anything. So every time my dad would go out for a business trip, he would bring back to me like a pair of like Air Force Ones, and that was like probably the shoe for all my middle school, and then all the way to the first year of high school. Like I was just always wearing, a white pair of Air Force Ones. Yeah. But I loved watching NBAs. I used to buy magazines about basketballs and shoes, and I was like, man, that's like just the best game that you can see, you can watch. And then first time I get into, Jordans was in 2006. I came to the US for the very first time during like an exchange program in my high school. And then we went to, a huge mall. There was Nike Town. Mm-hmm. And then, 2006, they released a ton of, Jordan 4s. And then I just bought the very first pair of Jordan 4 myself. That was the Pure Money 2006. So I just fell in love with the 4s just because, the silhouette, it looks so good. You can still play basketball in them. You can just wear them daily. It's just like, I beat my pair to death. But I really just loved, Jordan 4s now till this day. So like, especially, like recently there are so many collaborations coming out as well, especially with 4s. I just had to pick them up.
Yeah. So speaking of Jordan 4s, so last week, guys, I had mentioned in my teaser collection video that I was going to be trading with a good buddy of mine who kept hassling me, and here he is right now. And I think we worked out a good deal. So I'm gonna show you guys what I traded my '06 Jordan Pure Moneys that were dead stock to him for. So he gave me these. These are the Track Red Air Jordan 1s. Now I have almost the whole set, and for those people that don't know the whole set, it's a lot of clay, so it's like a blue moon and the yellow orcs and then the clay greens. They're all kind of a pack. I think there's what, five or six pairs in the pack, and I have half. The Track Reds have been on my list for a while, and now that I have them in person, I don't know if I like the color of these laces. Like they came with another pair, and then he had laced them in the black, so you got kind of, I'm a big fan of the split laces, I really am. And then I don't know if you guys can see this, but on the insole, I really like the insole, how it has the cards and the old school.
That's definitely unique.
Yeah, definitely unique. And this is more like a suede kind of, but like a nice suede.
Yeah, this whole packages in general have like a really good quality.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially on the suede, but the leather, it's not like a, you know how they say buttery leather? I don't think that this is a buttery leather compared to like the yellow orcs, for example. That leather is so buttery. So now I'll let Yufan kind of dive into his thoughts on the trade and what he received.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks to you, I'm able to pick up this '06 pair of Pure Money in dead stock condition with OG box, which is like really, really, hard to find to this day because, it's almost 14 years old.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is like the very first pair of Jordan that I ever owned myself. So it really, besides, like the classic silhouette of fours, it also just really have a lot of, sentimental meaning to myself. So I really would like to keep one pair, as clean as possible for the rest. I mean, as long as I could, And also, I just looked back, I actually have the old 06 Pure Money that I used to own. Like, I still have that back home. It's like just in really beat condition right now. But, one day I hope I can bring this pair back and just take a picture, have the two pairs together. But I think it's just really nice shoe, even though they retroed like 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2017.
The silver, and also the Black Cat a year later. But I just really like the 06 pair for sure.
What I like about that, the metallic on the shoe sticks out a lot more than the 2017 version. I also like the stitch on the Pure Money on the back on the heel tab.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't do that last time.
No. This is something I really, really liked.
Yeah.
And then when I picked up this 17 pair, they didn't have the stitching. I was like, oh man, such a bummer because it would have been really cool, having that.
Yeah. Now, do you have any? Is that your oldest pair right now, currently in your collection?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is the oldest pair I have.
Yeah.
I have mostly just the newer retros and collabs. So. Yeah, I guess that's what I was gonna talk about too. Like where I see myself in the kind of sneakerhead group and what is my current collection sort of.
Mm-hmm.
I started kind of like transitioning to getting more like collabs and exclusives in the past year or so, rather than getting a lot of general releases and retros. A lot of people say like, maybe just that's all the hype, like you just want to hop on the hype train, just be like, showing off kind of thing. But I kind of view it differently, just because I think this is actually, like a lot of people say like, oh, this is not the real sneakerhead, like you're not a real sneakerhead if you're only like into the hype or like the collabs, rather than like looking back at the retro or the OG. But I kind of view it differently because I think, maybe 10 years ago, they were like retroing a lot of, the OG shoes. And then right now, I think it's actually a new era where a lot of companies are working together, like artists are working with Nike and Jordan Brand, to kind of like show people their own interpretation on some of the shoes, which like I think should be appreciated because it used to be like almost like impossible for someone to go into Nike and be like, hey, I want my own shoe, especially with Jordan brand. But lately we just see more and more of that case, in the sneaker releases, and some of them are really, really good. Like, if I grab, the Off-White 4s from this year, definitely I would say like one of the best shoes releases in 2020, right?
Yeah.
It's just like a really, really clean shoe for a women's release, have extended sizing, just super clean, and also like the deep construction work, the classic Off-White, collabs, it really stands out a lot.
Yeah.
And, previously, the Cactus Jack,
Travis Scott 4s,
yes, also just like the color combination, the quality of the belt, really just the Cactus Jack is, it's also like a classic collaboration too. So I think, I'm not just all about the hypes, but I also just kind of appreciate that.
Well, and another thing too, that back to the Travis Scott 4s, is that shoe wasn't hyped at all. I mean, I picked mine up for $300.
Yeah.
After the drop, and it took until like the Travis 1s and that kind of hype to boost that shoe. That's like a $600 shoe now. But so like my whole thing is going back to what you had said about collecting hype shoes versus the OGs and things like that. Back when those were coming out, there was no Twitter, there was no seeing what celebrities were wearing. So, and I think nowadays with Instagram and everything like that, these younger kids, the younger sneakerhead generation, is they like to make fun of people, for being on the hype train and things like that. But, they don't understand, kind of that whole culture that we built, I feel like, moving forward. And I don't think a shoe, I think they create a lot of hype, but I think that's any shoe. I mean, look at what the Jordan 1 did in '85 when it was banned. I mean, that's a hype shoe technically, right?
Yes.
And then look at the patent leather Jordan 11s. Michael Jordan got in trouble because he loved that shoe so much. He wore it before it was supposed to come out. Technically that would make that a hype shoe, right?
Exactly.
But now, like a hype shoe is like, an Off-White 1 or somewhere of the high, designer brands, if you want to call them. But, so I think it goes both ways. And if you just like sneakers and have an appreciation for them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what you are. So,
I do really appreciate all of them.
Yeah.
I just appreciate like all different interpretation of the original classics.
How many pairs currently do you have in your collection right now?
I think about 60, 70 pairs.
60, 70. So where do you think you sit on the sneakerhead or whatever you want to say?
Maybe like a rookie collector.
Rookie collector with 60 pairs of shoes with an Off-White 1 and a Travis 1 sitting behind you. Yeah, I don't really.
Well, I mean, some people have, room number 1, room number 2, room number 3.
Some of those people.
Quantity-wise, I think, I'm not quite there yet. But I think variety, I do have some variety here, and also value-wise in terms of the market right now, it's looking pretty okay.
No, you definitely have quality. You definitely have quality.
Yeah, exactly, quality. Yeah.
There you go. Well, all right, guys, I just want to say thank you to Yufan for coming on the channel, talking about the trade, getting to know him a little more, background about his culture, and coming from China. And I'm so glad that I was able to give you a shoe that means a lot, that actually has sentimental value to you. It's a 14-year-old shoe, which I think is crazy. And I think it's cool that it's the oldest shoe that you have currently right now in your collection.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but totally.
And I want to thank you a lot for the Track Red 1s. Man, I'm a huge Jordan 1 fan. This is definitely my favorite shoe. Thank you so much, Yufan. I hope that you like your Jordan 4s.
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you for hooking me up with the 06 Pure Money, my very first pair of J's. And I appreciate you to have me on the channel. And good luck with everything, and let's keep collecting.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on, Yufan.
Awesome. Yep, thank you. Talk later.
Okay guys, let me know your thoughts on the trade in the comments. Also, follow me on Instagram. You can message me that way and let me know. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and tune in next week for another video.